Hey everybody, I am Stephanie Feld, and this is 5-minute EMDR refreshers. So today I am talking about Future Template and some ways that you can use it with clients actually when you're starting phase 4 to kind of build their confidence and get some familiarity with the system, what it's like to process. When I was trained, I didn't even know this was like revolutionary, but my trainer explained that future templates are actually easier for a client to process because it's not a literal experience that they've had where the brain has like a very formed like neural network. It's something that they're imagining. So it's actually easier to process. Go figure. So a lot of times when clients are coming in with a lot and maybe a float back might feel kind of stressful or just like they're not ready or comfortable to totally go back in the past, we can use a future template just to help them kind of get a feel for what EMDR is like, to get a quick win, and to build confidence in themselves, in the therapeutic relationship, and in EMDR. So essentially what that would look like is, say, what was the one we talked about in consultation today? A client was having a very distressing reaction to getting their period because of a abusive experience they had in their childhood. So now every time they get it, it's really upsetting. So instead of, you could float back to the abuse, you could float back to the worst time they got their period and it freaked them out, or instead, a gentler approach to start would be to have them imagine in the future a time that they would get their period. What would be an image or picture that captures the worst part of that happening, to go through all the setup, like what would be the negative thought or belief about yourself, what would you want to believe instead, do the VOC, what emotions would you experience in the future when that happens, and the feelings in the body and all of that. You would do that setup. It's the same. It is the same as any other processing. It's just that when you do the setup, instead of looking back, you're looking forward. And for whatever reason, because of how our brains work, that is just a little bit simpler for the client. For you as the therapist, there's not much else different that you need to do. And maybe that just eases a little bit of your own stress and anxiety to say, I'm not gonna throw my client into the deep end of the pool, taking them back in time to the first or the worst. Maybe that just doesn't feel good to you. And maybe the client is literally saying, I do not want to do that. That's okay. Give it a try, see how it feels to you, and maybe you don't do a target around that situation at all. Maybe you do a future one that's where the SUD is even lower to give them a positive first experience. So maybe it's not even about the abuse at all. Maybe it's just I'm stressed in the future about going to this doctor's appointment, or I'm stressed in the future to see this family member I haven't seen in a while, or whatever it is, something that has a pretty mild SUD, maybe 4 or under, just to build up their comfort level with the process. So I hope that was helpful. If you have done this before, if you have any thoughts, feedback, questions, please feel free to drop them below. And I would love to hear from you. Please like the video, subscribe to follow along. And if you want to talk more about this, you have a client in mind, or just something that you'd love consultation around, feel free to reach out. There's a Calendly link to book your own individual consult with me, or reach out because I have groups forming right now, and I'd be happy to have you join us. All right, take good care. Bye.